Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am still at District E in Washington, D.C. But in today's video, we are going to rank all of the current Week 1 Master Set players for the Draft Gems event. I do need to mention, you won't see any content on my channel for about a week, as I'm going to Nashville for the Draft and Awards show, and I'll more than likely have a vlog about my entire trip there. Be sure to tune into the NHL World Championship. That takes place on Tuesday, and if you follow me on Twitter, I'll show you all the links and how to watch that. All right, let's get into it. All right, coming in at number 5, really no surprise here, is the 98 Connor Hellebuyck. No matter what stage of the game you're playing, no goaltender in really any NHL video game is going to bail you out and be more important than a defenseman or a forward. That's just the way the game is played. The amount of goals you give up is far more prevalent when it comes to your defense rather than the actual goaltender card you're using. However, if you are looking for a goaltender where you can just kind of set it and forget it, I don't think Connor Hellebuyck's a bad option. I've used his 86 overall, and he's been fine. Again, I think that goaltenders in this game just don't matter at all. And maybe in NHL 24, if they fix goaltender animations, that it might be a different conversation. I've used his All-Star card throughout the year, and I actually didn't mind it at all. I really wouldn't put any abilities on Connor Hellebuyck, but for all those reasons, he comes in at number 5. Next up is the 98 Patric Hornqvist. I actually think this is a pretty fun card. Again, if you are looking for the cards that are going to give you the best competitive advantage, then that's a whole different story. However, if you're just looking for pure fun, Gold Truculence, Big Tipper, Total Eclipse, and Close Quarters is going to cause some absolute havoc. However, he's 5'11", 189 without any ability that's going to help him hold on to the puck. There's no unstoppable force. There's no big rig. He is going to get tossed around by all of the bigger truculence defensemen that are out there in the game. I mean, Oliver Meebus, Rob Blake, Adam Foote, Alexiak. Like, you're not going to have any time and space at all with this Patric Hornqvist card. I like the build, just wish they would have given him unstoppable force. Next up is the 98 John Klingberg. Now, he's 6'3", which is good size. However, he's only 190 pounds. And again, if you are comparing players at the highest end of the game, you have to take all things into account because you're spending like 500,000 to 600,000 coins on these cards. So you've got to kind of pick them apart. The real issue with John Klingberg is just when it comes down to abilities. He's only 190, so he's not going to have that mass amount of weight that even without any truculence or hitting abilities to be able to knock any of the big guys off the puck. He can get up to 99 acceleration or 99 speed, whatever one you want, which is fantastic for a 6'3" defenseman. He doesn't have stick 'em up, so he can't take advantage of the fact that he's 6'3", and he doesn't have truculence. So again, while I think that all of his abilities make sense considering he's an offensive defenseman, we're talking purely in terms of if he's worth it making in Hockey Ultimate Team. Again, you could do worse, but I would far rather take Rob Blake and Adam Foote, who are going to be cheaper for you than this John Klingberg card. I would like to point out that like throughout the year though, like early on, John Klingberg cards are always among the best because he is 6'3" and he actually has decent skating. So just put that in the back of your mind for when NHL 24 comes out. John Klingberg cards usually have very good skating, and that's something that's very rare early on in Hockey Ultimate Team. The fact that you can have a defenseman over 6 foot that actually has decent skating. So just something to keep in the back of your mind. Next up, we've got the 98 Esa Lindell. 6'3", 220. He's got 98 acceleration, 96 speed, or vice versa. For defensemen, I would always recommend acceleration over speed, simply because if you lose the puck at the blue line, you want to be able to get back into position as fast as possible. So I would probably go acceleration over the 96 speed. He has gold shutdown and silver stick 'em up, which makes it a fantastic combo. However, obviously expensive. Shutdown is a great ability. It really takes in stick 'em up as well as truculence and kind of throws it all into one ability. However, it doesn't activate all the time in your own zone, but it doesn't just activate off the rush like it indicates. Stick 'em up is a good ability on the bigger defenseman. I would much rather have Esa Lindell over, let's say, Klingberg if you are looking for a defenseman. And I'd much rather have Esa Lindell over, let's say, Scott Niedermayer from the last event. However, the HUD Heroes event kind of made these big, gigantic defensemen that have great defensive abilities kind of useless just because Oliver Meebus is there. You could go Victor Hedman from that event. There's really nothing that would kind of separate them more unless Esa Lindell had truculence, for example, but that does not mean he is not a good card. I think that if you don't want to go that route of putting, a random European player on your team just because he's 6'9" and Oliver Meebus, Esa Lindell is a fantastic card all the way around. And then coming in at number 1, it has been a while since I have put a ranking video out in which a player that is under 6 foot is number 1. However, I think this 98 Kirill Kaprizov, for many reasons, is the best of these 5 players. 1, it's Kirill Kaprizov, so it's a fantastic card. I think everyone gets so trapped up in picking whatever is the best and just looking at the numbers and not the actual player or the card art. I think Kirill Kaprizov is a great card here. On top of that, while he is 5'10", he's actually over 200 pounds, so it's not like he's a small boy. He's got gold elite edges, silver unstoppable force, and silver close quarters. I think what would really, really make this card one of the better ones in the game would be the fact that if he switched Unstoppable Force to the lead edges, I talked about that a little bit in my last video, but that doesn't mean that he is that much worse. Silver Unstoppable Force and Silver Close Quarters is more than good, and he's 99 everything. I think this is just a fun, exciting card from this event, and as we've seen, they are still slow rolling 99 speed players throughout the game, so he still has a little bit of a skating advantage. I've also talked to some people in my community, and they've all given the green light. This card scores a ton, and he doesn't get thrown off the puck as often as some of the smaller players. I use Connor Bedard's Team of the Season, who has gold Unstoppable Force, and like I mentioned, unless it's one of the gigantic guys, he can hold on to the puck pretty easily. So if you're looking for a left-handed forward that you can use, go ahead and grab yourself Kirill Kaprizov. Now, unlike the last event, I probably am not making any of these Master Set players for the No Money Spent team to actually use in my lineup because other than Kirill Kaprizov, none of the players are really all that interesting to me. Maybe Connor Hellebuyck, which might sound surprising, but I've been looking for a goaltender that I can just kind of set it and forget it for months now, and Connor Hellebuyck might be the one. I thought about Esa Lindell, but I'll probably wait for another defenseman to come out that I just like more in real life. But in reality, I'm probably just saving all of these Master Set players for whatever the 96 overall player that comes out. Hopefully, it's a very, very good choice. I've got some faith in that. Again, if you haven't watched my event detail video, I broke down the fastest way to get through everything in this event, including all the objectives and all the free cards and everything like that. Be sure to go check that out because it will save you hours on end. But thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.